have to see this. The Republicans in Tennessee are manhandling the Democrats. The Democrats have completely lost their mind coming off of the last week's vote where they redistricted the state based on the recent Supreme Court ruling. Well, you have to see what the Republicans just did. So this is a look inside the chambers from last week where the vote was just finalized to redistrict all of the state of Virginia. Well, here you see the Democrats, they're locking arms and have allowed protesters into the upper chambers in complete childish behavior. It's also illegal, and you can see here all over the upper chamber all of their little pals, their insurrectionist protesters, are now storming the chambers. So the Republicans again passed this vote. It was unanimous, and it was based on the Supreme Court ruling. Let me give you a little better angle as to just how bad this was. So again, they're bringing in air horns. These are elected officials and the Democrats that are on the floor with all of the protesters up above them. And I'm going to turn the volume down here just because it gets pretty chaotic. But the point is that they've let their little buddies in and they're completely storming the Capitol. All of the elected officials had to get police escorts out of the chamber. And again, the Republicans are having none of it. Let me show you, though, one more clip before I tell you what the Republicans did. So this is a clip of Representative Justin Pearson, and we'll do a separate video on him because he's an interesting fella. He's a Democrat, and what he's doing now is he's really upset, and he's leaving the chamber along with all of the insurrectionists that have stormed the Capitol and the voting chambers specifically. And just look how he treats the police officers that are there to try to keep everybody safe. Watch this.
Boy! Let Pearson go. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
So this is, again, Representative Justin Pearson. I'll give you a little bit more about him in a future video. So what did the Republicans do just this morning as a result of this abhorrent behavior by the Democrats? Well, they sent this letter out to every public elected official, both Republicans and Democrats. And I'm going to read it for you because I think it's important. And this is exactly what our Republicans in D.C. should be doing. Again, Dear Leader Camper, due to the actions taken by members of the Democrat caucus during the second extraordinary session of the 114th Assembly, where they interlocked arms in the well, where they blocked aisles to the House floor, where they were instigating and encouraging disruptions of the legislative process, where they used props and noisemakers on the House floor, and they demonstrated a complete lack of respect towards their fellow elected officials. Well, because of that, and you can see here right at the bottom, members of the Democrat caucus will receive individual letters removing them from all standing committees and subcommittees of the House, except where membership is required. Because it's important to remember, right? The Democrats, this is the party that wants to tell everybody that nobody is above the law, right? Here's Joe Biden. Here's J.B. Pritzker. Here's Representative Jimmy Gomez. Here's Chuck Schumer in the bottom right. Tish James, Mark Hamill, right? The Star Wars actor. All of the Democrats love to posture on how important it is to never, think that you're above the law. Well, the truth is that Representative Justin Pearson and his Democrat colleagues, they're no longer above the law. They're going to be dealt swiftly, and in the meantime, they're going to be taken off of their committees. I thought this was a fair one, a comment from Daryl. They should all be held without bail for a few years while they fight their insurrection charges. I mean, after all, what's fair is fair. So we've seen this type of behavior from the Democrats, and we're going to continue to see that. And all this is a childlike kind of spaz out when they don't get what they want and when what they want conflicts with federal law. So they sit here and storm out of the chambers, interlocked arms, right? Get all their protesters and agitators doing an insurrection in the capital of Tennessee. And they're being dealt with swiftly by the Republicans. And I would encourage Representative Mike Johnson and Senator John Thune to do the same exact thing. To Hakeem Jeffries and to any one of the Democrats that are flagrantly calling for violence, flagrantly calling for insurrections, and saying you haven't seen the end of this, right? We saw Chuck Schumer threatening the Supreme Court justices just last year, saying you haven't seen the end of this. We saw how that worked, where they were storming the house of Judge Kavanaugh. So again, what's fair is fair. That if they want to play this game with our folks when they stormed the Capitol, well, we're going to do the same. And maybe you should go to, the pen and have a little private time to think about your actions. Specifically, Justin Pearson, Representative Justin Pearson, his behavior was completely abhorrent in how he treated the police officers. So let me know what you think. Do you agree with what the Republicans did, where they stripped them of their committee memberships? Do you agree with me, where Washington, Mike Johnson, John Thune have to do the same when they start to get over that line, where they're calling for violence, or they're calling for an insurrection, or they're just having a general spaz out and threatening our peace officers? Let me know what you think. The comments are wide open. And by the way, if you've yet to subscribe to the channel, you can do that right up here. We'd love to have you join us. And we also have a few other stories here that we think you'd love. Check those out. They're all coming up next.